Ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode of the Rather Late programme. So, my first question to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is have you ever been interested in space? Have you ever been interested in superheroes? Well, this show is where we combine that through audio, because of budgeting reasons. Today's episode is about altered space.
The Rather Late programme with your host Bash Dinsmore, brought to you by Gin and Tonic, featuring guests
Rhys Dell and Graham Cram.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host Bash Dinsmore.
Welcome back to the Rather Late programme with your host, YouTube's Bash Dinsmore. Welcome back, everybody. Been a good couple of weeks. It's been a good couple of weeks. Now, today's episode is about altered space. We've discussed this. So, altered space started in 2022 and finished in 2026. Gosh, that's a fair few years. I was the showrunner and creator of Altered Space. I was one of the developers alongside Matthew Baker, E. Foster, with concept idea by Gabby Noel. With 5 series and 105 episodes, Altered Space is definitely one of the longest shows I've ever produced. 4 years, 5 series. It's been a good run. We've had some amazing people work on this show. And from directors to writers to guest writers to executive producers to consulting producers to stars and guest stars and, all of the cast. None of this would be possible without any single one of these people. So I'm going to shout out a few people from each department just to let you know how many people it takes to make a show. In terms of directors, we had a lot of directors. We've had about 27 directors over 105 episodes. Some only doing 1 episode, some only directing 2 or 3 or 4, some directing 8. And then there's me and one other at 15-16. So shouting out in terms of directors, Andrew MacDonald, who's been a long-time collaborator of mine. We've worked on many projects together. Andrew has directed 16 episodes of Altered Space between 2023 and 2026. 16, that's the most episodes directed on the show. No one has ever made it to 16. But then we also have some big directors helping out as well. We've had Ray Parker, who was a supervising producer on the show. We've had Edward Tracy, who's a big mentor of mine. Benjamin Martin, who's done about 7 episodes. Not to mention the cast directors and producers on the show. We've had Hamish Clark, Matthew Baker, E. Foster, James Strong, Rhys Dell, Kevin Griffiths. We've had guest episode directors Ben Stone and Thomas Grant. We've had 3 episodes directed by Richard Lyons, big name in the audio world. So praise to him. Guy Bradley. We've had a load of directors that this show wouldn't be here without. Moving on to the writers, along with myself throughout these 105 episodes, I have written 47. I've done the dialogue and teleplay of 21 and story of 18 episodes. E. Foster and Matthew Baker both have developed around 72 episodes of this show, with written scripts of 14 episodes and 11 episodes, teleplays of 6 and 7, and then stories of 6 and 5. Big guest writers and staff writers include Ben Morris, Luke Windsor, Julie Russell. Guest writers like Hamish Clark, Colin McGranahan, Peter Hammond, Toby Whitmore, of course, Rhys Dell, Ben Davies, Ryan Hemingway, Michael Green, Izzy Gentile, Felix Tracy, Alex Stone, Beth Robertson. The list goes on. In terms of producers, shout out to all of the main executive producers, myself as showrunner and executive producer. Executive producers from the very first episode, from the pilot, Matthew Baker, E. Foster, Gabby Noel, Andrew MacDonald, Lisa Bennett, moving from co-producer to producer to co-exec, Hamish Clark to Ben Davies to Ben Morris to Mark and Eddie Thomas, Ray Parker as supervising producer, Adam Bray as co-producer, Rhys Dell as an executive and consulting producer, Benjamin Martin, Izzy Gentile, John Martin, Edward Tracy, James Strong, Chris Fisher, Adam Price, Hugh Ward, Elizabeth Smith, Jordan Quayle, Colin McGranahan, Ellie Miller, George Dinsmore, David Cooper, Zach Tate. Now this episode just feels like I'm slapping off names. But it is. Because without these people, these shows won't get made. Moving on from producers, directors and writers, I'm going to shout out to the music department, the composers, Ben Stone, Anthony Tremaine, Jamie Anderson. Ben Stone, 55 episodes of the show composed. Anthony Tremaine, 4 episodes of the show composed, and then 105 in terms of theme music. Jamie Anderson, a couple of episodes composed. Music department including Will James Watson as a music producer, Emma Jones as music supervisor, Anthony Tremaine for additional music and theme, myself as an executive music producer, David Cooper, Grace McKenzie, Aidan Thomas, Lucas Bishop, Lewis Brownlee, Izzy Gentile as singers. Shout out to our 3 main editors, Ben Stone for doing 94 episodes, Adam Bray for editing 10, William Day for editing 2, casting by Michael Pine and Sarah Jones, production management from Gabby Noel, assistant directors and second unit directors Justin Henry, Max Jones, Adam Bray, John Banbrook, Daniel MacArthur. Sound department including Lewis Day, Simon Cooper, Izzy Gentile, or the script supervisors such as Julie Russell and Ben Morris, Zach Tate, Eddie Thomas, Zane Sheikh, history consultants in Ben Davies and Emily Fleedham, and a hell of a load of thanks to many people. We have special thanks to George Dinsmore, Chris White, Jenna Wilson, Hamish Clark, Lucy Moorhen, Grace Mackenzie, Jordan Quayle, Adam Bray, David Cooper, Kelly Eddy, Rhys Dell, Zach Tate, Ben Stone, Bradley Barton, Dylan Al-Kadi, Emma Kazmirowski, Alana Malanga, Troy Mangrum, Jamie McAfee, Nick Sampson, Fraser Kelly, Mike Scott, Jamie Weaver, Rowena Wilson, Ben Davies, Emily Danvers, Charlotte Gant, Andre Harris, Murray Henley, Elliot E. Torrey, Kelly Dunn, Jaden Wolfe, Graham Crabb, Emily Fleedham, Karen Robert Horrell. Oh, so many thanks. And there's loads more. Aston Rodberg and Gene Sargent, and Alistair Moon and Jacob McCormack and Matthew Lee. Oh, there's so many. Only 2 actors on the show have succeeded 100 episodes. I'm going to now talk about the casting on this show, with actors who have been in main cast as series regulars to guest stars and special guest stars and co-stars. We've got David Cooper, who has been credited for all 105 episodes. May not have appeared in all of them, but he's been there from the beginning. There's me at 101 episodes, Jazeer Shine at 77, Hamish Clark at 76, Chris White at 74, George Dinsmore at 70 on the dot, Zach Tate, Edward Tracy, Kelly Eddy, Lucy Moorhen, all above 50 episodes, so all above halfway. Then we have the newer characters with actors from Karen Robert Hall, Jamie McAfee, Gareth Griffiths, Jack Meldon, Dylan Al-Kadi, Jenna Wilson, Emily Fleetham, Grace Mackenzie. You know, all of these guys are so important to the show. People like Emily Fleetham and George Dinsmore, Lucy Moorhen starting off in the main cast, and then eventually leaving the show and becoming special guests. But then you have guest stars such as Bash Dinsmore and Emma Kazmirowski and Charlotte Gant and Dylan Al-Kadi, who were all guest stars and then joined later as main cast members. There's so many people important to the show. Now, we've had Series 1 episodes be really mega in the whole show. And then we've had episodes in Series 5 be not really that important. There's episodes all over the place that are still vital to the show. I won't be sharing too much in terms of archive footage from the whole show, because that I'm going to do in separate episodes when I talk about separate actors and who they are and how they work. But let me just play you this one scene where one of the characters, Daniel Anderson, finally becomes part of the team.
What are we doing here?
Well, you've spent some time with us now. It's time you officially become a legend.
What?
It's a big responsibility. Helping keep the timeline safe, fighting injustice, and preventing wars. Are you ready?
I don't know. I hope so.
Now, listen. We're all just trying to figure out this hero thing together.
It's not always going to be easy.
And sometimes you'll feel like you're out of your mind.
Or that the darkness is too much to bear.
But it's worth fighting the darkness to discover who you really are.
Not just for yourself.
So you can create a better world for everyone.
You're definitely gonna make some mistakes.
There's no formula to guide the way.
No destiny to surrender to.
It's not about being perfect. It's about doing what's right.
And having a hell of a good time doing it.
That's what it means to be a legend.
So, are you ready for this? Because you're gonna love every second.
I'm ready.
Welcome to the team, Daniel.
Thank you, Captain.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard one of the most important scenes to the whole show. Everyone is there from start to finish, helping this new kid come and join us. And it's so amazing to have the important characters from the beginning of the show return. Lucy Moorhen, George Dinsmore. It's amazing to have these guys here. But then there's a lot of newer aspects on this show towards the end. And there were characters such as Norman Hayes, played by Rhys Dell, and the Inquisitor, played by Graham Crabb, that sort of appeared more and more towards the end. Because, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are aiming for the movie. The Altered Space Forever War film is coming out at the end of the year, and things are going to go crazy. But first, let's bring out our first guest. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring out Rhys Dell. Good to see you, Rhys. It's good to have you here on the show. So, if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself and who you play.
Hello, my name is Rhys Dell, and normally you can find me playing Norman Hayes, aka Jetstream, and quite recently I've been playing Eras, the man from time and space.
That's right, Rhys. And you play him with so much gravitas. Let's take a little look-see at one of your previous episodes on the show.
You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
No, sidebar.
What's up?
Your friends are just your doppelgangers.
I know, isn't it great?
You know what, mate, I'm bloody desperate, I don't care. Let's do a roll call.
Okay, team, if we could do a roll call and just say something when called. Percy Oak. Hello there. It's been a while. My name's Percy, and I'm the bodyguard. Rinsatina. Shut up, you idiot. She's so mean. Rinsatina is a savage. Rinses everyone. And that was Rhys Dillon.
Who's he?
Detective at the Totally Legitimate Crime Unit.
Totally legit? That's a joke, right?
Where's Indiana Dell? Here. He's good at finding things. Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory. Any of you guys want to see a magic trick?
Is that a clown?
Want to know how I got these scars?
It's the fucking Joker.
I'm serious.
Why so serious?
Do ya?
Do I what?
Want to see a magic trick? That's my line. I am Dell the Grey. He used to go by Dell the White, but it was too much. It seemed a bit racist. Delster, put the gun down or I will shoot first.
Who's the guy on the chair at the back?
That's the Spectre, aka the Moon Watcher. I'm Mrs. Delfire. Would you like a sweetie?
I'm good, thanks.
What's going on?
Isn't that great? That's a great clip. Okay, so what I want to ask you now is, what do you love about your character or characters and their journeys?
What do I love about my characters and their journeys? Norman's journey is one I've been on for a very long time now. I've been playing Norman for about 6 years, and will go on playing Norman probably even longer. I always love bringing Norman back because he's just this goofy guy, who's also very serious, you know, and he, he's got a lot going on, but I always love seeing where he progresses. And Eras is really interesting as a character. He's very different to Norman, whereas Norman is this very sort of say grounded superhero. You know, he's a superhero. Grounded isn't really the nature of the beast.
No, you are right. Grounded is not part of it. But I get where you're coming from. But what do you think of Eris?
But Eris is kind of much more out there, and he's much more stoic, and whereas I can have more fun with Norman, Eris is much more serious, and that's a really nice contrast I get to do.
Yeah, the contrast is great. I guess you get to balance it out, and you get to play this wacky character and this really sort of stoic sort of... He's a being of time, Eris. So you get to play, you know, a man with the weight of time on his shoulders, but then you also get to play this goofy Scottish character. Crazy. I was going to ask, do you have any favourite moments or episodes or seasons from the show?
Do I have any favourite moments, episodes or seasons? Do you know what? I'll give you one for each character. For Norman, it's the Council of Dell, which was a joke written by Bash Dinsmore into an episode. But I loved doing that episode. It was so much fun. I just did all the characters, just line by line. I had so much fun with it. And Norman gets a good story out of it. Any episode with Norman I love doing. In terms of eras, I will always treasure that first appearance that I did as the character, because I wasn't really sure who he was and what he was about, but it was so fun discovering that, and it was so fun to play a new character, because don't get me wrong, I love playing Norman, but he has been within me for such a long time that I'm just so used to him. He sort of comes as second nature. So, yeah, it was nice to do something new. And I'm sure I will play Eris at some point for just as long as I have played Norman.
Did your opinion on the show ever change between now and when you first joined? Because you started off as a special guest, because obviously you started on Saltire, and then Altered Space was the third show from Protectors of Time to Altered Space to now.
Did my opinion of the show change between now and when I first joined? Do you know what? No. I'm going to be honest, no. I've been working with the wonderful Mr. Bash Dinsmore for 6 years now, and everything he does is really good, and it's fantastic. And so, you know, I really never have any misconceptions about anything he does. It's always incredibly well done, it's always incredibly well written, and I always love doing it.
I get you. And finally, what was it like working with scripts from myself, Bash Dinsmore, and the other writers?
I've done so much work on Bash Dinsmore scripts, and they are always fab. You know, they're always fun. There's always something to laugh about, and there's always a really good story at the heart of it. And he writes these long-running series so well. And so, yeah, I always have an absolute blast.
Any other thoughts?
I'm sad it's over. I am sad that Altered Space is over. It was a nice new chapter, because I started with Saltire, in which I was more of a lead, and it was nice to do a guest appearance here and there in Altered Space. That was lovely. Yeah, I'm sad it's over, but I'm looking forward to whatever's next. And I look forward to seeing where these characters go. All the best.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Rhys, for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Rhys Dell. Okay then, guys, we are into the next guest of the show. Could we bring out Graham Crabb? Hi, Graham, would you mind introducing yourself and who you play?
Hello, my name is Graham Crabb, and I play the Inquisitor.
So what do you love about your characters and their journey?
I've really enjoyed playing the character. It's been great fun, but also it's been great to see the Inquisitor become more of a prominent figure in the series as the episodes went along. Hopefully this is not the end of the Inquisitor, and hopefully there'll be more projects in the near future where maybe the Inquisitor comes back in some shape or form. Maybe another series of Altered Space, which would be fantastic, but we'll have to wait and see.
It's great. You've been a fine addition to the final series, and you will be great in the movie, I can tell you. So, from your short stint so far, do you have any favourite moments, episodes, or seasons?
I don't really have a standout favourite episode, but I think the last couple of episodes in the final series there, the Inquisitor really started to come into his own. His interaction with the other characters was equally as fun. But yeah, the Inquisitor just started to get bigger and bigger as the series went on, which was great for me, really.
Did your opinion of the show change between now and when you first joined?
This has actually been my first voiceover audio series, and I've really enjoyed being part of it.
And what was it like working with scripts from myself and other writers?
The show certainly got bigger as the episodes went on, and credit to Bash Dinsmore and the other writers, as they really kind of put great efforts into the scripts that they prepared for us, and again, really enjoyed being part of it.
Any other thoughts?
I think obviously a special shout out goes to the editor as well, as some of the episodes were certainly well crafted and put together, and I should imagine that he had his work cut out for that, and obviously quite time consuming as well. So yeah, big up to him there. That was a really good job. Thank you. Overall, though, it's been a real blast playing the character, and I've really enjoyed being part of the whole production. And I'm obviously looking forward to some more Dinsmore productions in the near future. So thank you all for letting me be part of it.
Well, that's all we have time for today, folks, with Graham Crabb. Thank you again, my friend. Everyone else, it is time to wrap up the show. Well, hopefully you guys learnt a fair bit from a couple of the guys on today's show. It's crazy, isn't it? It's wild how a series can last 100 episodes and further. It just goes to show that when you have a group of people who are invested in something, you can complete anything. Anyways, that's the end of the show, guys. I'll see you next time. Good night.